So yeah, apologies for the sound and generally things going on. I had my whole morning was to be as normal. You know, I do it at my house and everything, but my dog took to the groomer yesterday and they did not cut his hair the right way. And so they needed to fix it. And either I took him in this morning or I waited another month. So that's what brought me into town. And then I needed to find a spot where I could do this. So that's the situation. So thanks for joining. And yeah, so Kimberly, you've been here before, so you know how it works. For those who don't, there's a Q&A button right beneath me, and you can go ahead and click that and submit any questions you have, and I will do my best to answer them. Also, if you feel like you have something that's more of a conversation than a specific question, you can raise your hand or say you'd like to have a conversation. I can unmute your mic and we can have a chat. So I will wait to see what questions you all have. In this foam all my beard. Okay. Question 1 is from Starkey. I have created a client portal for my subscriber customers, and I would like to show specific content for each customer. Do you have any advice on how this could get accomplished? Okay, so you want to show specific content for each customer. So there's definitely, I have a couple of answers to this. I'm kind of like processing in my mind the scale implication. So the first option is probably the most straightforward, but it really isn't going to scale well, meaning it'll work for, 10 to 20 customers, really, it's pushing it. But as soon as you get over that, it's just going to be not really manageable for you. Actually, there's 3 options. Okay, so the first option I would say is to use member decision smart tag. So if I share my screen here, clear out a bunch of these windows so I can see stuff. Go to our support center and search for member decisions smart tag. Okay, so wait, is this what I wanted? Hold on a second. No, sorry, this is not. Forget it. This isn't a potential solution. Forget about this. The way that I've seen people do custom content for clients is that you basically have a directory on your server that is for specific files. So say you have a directory on your server that's called client content, or whatever you want to call it. And then within that directory, you would have PDF files or doc files or whatever the type of file is that would deliver the individual content for the customer. And what you would do is you would have a consistent name for the file. Here, let me share my screen again here. So say you have your say that this directory represents your server, so you would create a file called like client content, and then within that, I'm just going to use this MP3 file, but imagine that it's a PDF document. So you'd name the file like whatever describes the content, like sample content underscore, and then after the underscore you would put the member ID of the member that it's for. Okay, so let's just create a few of these. So let's just say 1, 2, 3. So these would be individual PDF documents with the content specifically for that customer. And you would get the IDs by going to your manage member screen, and you see, okay, for John Smith, he's ID 80. For this John Smith, he's ID 79. For this guy, he's 78. So basically it would be like this: 78, 79, and 80. And then within the document itself, you could obviously do whatever you want in there. You could address them by name, you could whatever. You can have, and it doesn't matter what the file type is. It could be the MP3, it could be PDF, it could be doc, it could be PNG file, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The point is that you have to have a consistent file name. So all the files start with the same name, but then at some point, the difference of the file is the ID of the member. And I'll show you why this needs to be the case. The reason that needs to be the case is because you're going to have a page where you deliver the content to the member, and it's going to say, let's just say, personalized content. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to say download your personal file here. Okay, and this is going to be a download link, href equals, and then it's going to be your domain. So whatever your website is, whatever the path is to that directory that we created. So your domain.com / WP content maybe. So no, it probably won't be that. It'll be client content, something like this. You find the place of the path. Now, to get access to the content, remember we named the file sample content underscore, and then it was the ID was here, and then it's .mp3. So the ID is dynamic content though. That's going to change for each customer. So here we need to make sure that this is dynamic. So here's where we use a smart tag. So we're going to use the member data smart tag so that we can get the member ID. Oops, sorry. So we're going to use the member data smart tag. We want the ID attribute. So I'm just going to copy the sample here and go back here and put in that smart tag, and the name of the attribute that we want is ID. So now when I save this, publish it, this copy the page, and then I'll open up an incognito window, go to the demo site, and make a purchase. So I'm creating a new account here. And then I go to that page we just created, and I hover over this link. You'll see that down here in the lower left-hand corner, it's linking to the file sample content underscore 81, because 81 is the ID of that new account that I just created. So this is how, and you can get more sophisticated with this if you want, have different directory structures and stuff like that. But the key point is that you need to dynamically name the files with an ID from the customer so that you can have it dynamically linked to the specific file for the customer. So that's basically the best answer where member mouse is concerned. There's obviously other things that you could do that don't have to do with member mouse, but I'm not going to get into those. Okay, so this next question is from Carlos. How can I simply edit and translate the dialog box opened when clicking the update link on an account page? Okay, so share my screen again. Okay, so this document gives you all the instructions for creating translations for MemberMouse. So there's a whole we integrate with the WordPress translation system. Sorry, I don't know the technical name for it, but there's basically a PO file that you can create for different languages. And then following the instructions in this article, you can create a PO file for a language that's not English. And then in the default PO file that we provide for you that you can locate by following the instructions in this article, it'll show you all the different text in the system that can be translated. So that's where you would translate the, actually, yeah, sorry, it's even easier than that. There's this plugin, Loco Translate, and when you open it, you'll be able to create and see the different things that can be translated in MemberMouse through a user interface. And then you'll just change it through the interface for the different languages. So this article will show you everything that you need to translate things. So this is the article URL in the chat. This chai that they made here is really not that good. Very watery, very watery. See, here's the thing. I make my own chai at home fresh every day. Chai at coffee shops is usually an afterthought, is my experience. Like, they're very good at doing coffee. But then when it comes to chai, essentially it becomes this, like, they pull out a bag, like a chai bag that they bought somewhere. Like, it's in a box, and they put it in some water, and then they add the milk. That's not chai. I mean, it is technically chai, but it's not good chai. So I have rarely had a good experience ordering chai out, but I don't drink coffee a lot, so it's my only choice. Okay. Next question is from Toon. Do you offer client credits system in combination with monthly subscription? So besides our monthly fee, our customers have to buy credits that they can use for sending messages with our software. Okay, so there is a way that you can use MemberMouse to facilitate this, but the complexity of what you're talking about is going to require some custom programming. The part that MemberMouse can help with is the part where you allow them to purchase credits, which is very, very straightforward. So basically, you would just go to product settings, and you would say create a product that says, 20 credits, whatever. And then the price would be, let's say it's $1 a credit. Hold on a second. Okay, so it's $20. So then what we'll do is create a bundle that is 20 credits as well, and say that to get this 20 credits, you need to buy the 20 credits product that we just created. Okay, so you could create, you know, a product for 10 credits or 20 credits or whatever. You can have as many products as you want, but then what you'll do is create a push notification that says when a product is, you could do product purchased, 20 credits. When the 20 credit product is purchased, then call a custom script. And this is where the custom aspect of your system comes into play. You would need to, these are some sample scripts, you know, that basically, so for this one, it would be payment notification script. So if we take a look at this, you will see this is all of the data that MemberMouse will pass to this script. So it's readily accessible, easy, already put in variables for you in these sample scripts so that you can do stuff with it. So it'll show you, you know, the product ID, the amount paid for the product, et cetera, et cetera. So that part of the script in terms of accessing the data from MemberMouse, then you would need to have your own database table to manage your credits and how people have used them. So what I would imagine happening is when you set up this push notification, you would enter in the URL of your script here, whatever it is. You know, that's not a real URL, obviously. It's going to tell me it's not valid, so I just need to put a valid URL in here. So it'll call this custom script and pass the data to it. And then in that script, you would have a table where you would have to design this yourself. You know, you would have a member ID, the amount of credits they have. You would update the amount of credits they have column based on what they just purchased. And then you would have maybe a user interface that you custom build for yourself such that when they use the credits, you can update that table. So essentially, MemberMouse's only part in the equation is giving people the option to purchase additional credits. And then in a communication with your custom script would then update the table, custom table that you create to keep track of the credits, to kind of sum the credits that they have available based on their purchases. And then completely offline from MemberMouse, you would have ways that when they use those credits, you would decrease that number in that table so that you're keeping track. Okay, so hopefully that helps. This question, okay, so Kimberly, I want to offer a free membership that expires in 2 weeks from registration. But if someone takes a specific action unrelated to MemberMouse on my site, then I want to give them a free lifetime membership. Would I do this by upgrading them to a paid membership and then comping it, or is it easier to move to a more straightforward way to do this? Well, because there's no payment involved, it definitely wouldn't be a paid membership. You could certainly do it that way, but let me think for a second. So you have a free membership that expires, but if they do something, you want to give them a free lifetime membership. Okay, so there's more technical ways you could do this that would automate it for you, which would involve using the MemberMouse API. And then there's less technical ways to do it, which would just mean that you would get some notification when they take that unrelated action to MemberMouse, and then you could upgrade them yourself. But I would say in terms of the configuration in MemberMouse, you would have your free membership that's expires in 2 weeks. Then you would have another free membership that doesn't expire, because it doesn't, you know, since you're not having people pay for this, you don't need it to be a paid membership. And the fact that it's a free membership will allow you to potentially automate it through the API, as opposed to you having to manually do it and then comping, manually changing something to a paid membership and then comping it. So you have 2 membership levels. And then if you're doing it from a programmatic standpoint, you would essentially, oh, am I sharing my screen now? You would essentially, you would use the update member API call. Is it the update member API call? Yes. Okay, so you basically, in order for this to work, whatever action you're having them take would need to be able to trigger a script being called, a PHP script, and in that script, it would call the update member API call. This certainly requires technical knowledge, but it's not as complicated as it may sound. There's documentation that show you how you work with the API, and it's just stuff like that. You could even hire somebody, a developer, to do 2 hours of work, and they'll be able to do this. But basically, they take the action, and as a result of that action, it calls this script, and in that script, it calls the update member API call. And this would perform the action of changing the membership on their account automatically. Now, alternatively to that, a lower tech solution would be, and again, this all depends on scale and volume. If you're dealing with, 10 people every couple days or few days, then no reason to kind of like make overcomplicate it. But if you are doing this at volume, then you would want the technical solution. If you're not, then you just need to be notified when somebody takes that action, and then to go into their account and then just change them to the free membership level that doesn't expire. Okay. Okay, so next question is from Corey. I'd like to ask for different info from my customer based on what I'm selling to them. They're buying one type of product, for example, I'll have a question asking them to pick their top fitness goal. If I have another type of product, my questions are geared towards info about their kids who will be using the program. So, okay, there's a number of ways you could do this. It really depends on when you want to ask the question. So if you want to ask the question at the time of purchase, meaning at the same time they're filling out their credit card information and other things like that, you would do it one way. If you wanted to ask them after they've made the purchase, like as a follow-up, oh, thanks for your purchase. Here are some questions I need from you in order to get things answered, or to whatever, set up the program for you, whatever it is. I'm not going to demonstrate these two things because I've done both of these in separate videos and there's support articles that show you, but I will tell you the two options. So the first option is if you want to do it at the same time as purchase, we're basically talking about custom fields. So you'd set up, just get rid of some stuff here. You would set up custom fields. So you would for your questions. So you'd say, kids question, whatever it is. You have different options for what you could do here, checkboxes, drop downs. In terms of how they answer, they could select from a drop down list, they could select from a radio button list, or just fill in some text. I'll just select this for now. So once you've created a custom field, you'll notice there's this form smart tag here. So to put this on your checkout page, you simply copy that. Go to your checkout page and insert the question at the appropriate place. I'm not going to worry about where I'm putting this. I'm just going to put it right here. So I'll just say kids question. Okay, so now update this. Now this is only one part of it. Okay, so if we go and check out our checkout page now, you should see that that question is on the checkout form. So here it is. Not worrying about styling right now. I'm just trying to demonstrate this to you because you would have to figure out the styling based on your theme and everything like that. But you see functionally, the question is there, and if I answer this question and submit the form, it'll capture the answer. Now, The second part of this is you only want this question to show up when they're purchasing a particular product. Okay, so that is going to be done using the order decision smart tag and using the product ID attribute. So basically we would say, come here, and this kid's question, essentially what this is saying, I need an opening tag and a closing tag. Okay, so essentially what this is saying, so here's the question field, the custom field smart tag that we got when we created the custom field. Here's just that text that I entered in the kid's question. And then here's the order decision smart tag. So surrounding this content with the decision smart tag is basically saying only show this text in the event that product ID equals whatever. And to know, so if I go to the product settings screen, so let's just say we only want to have this show up when we're purchasing this 20 credits product, which is ID of 9. So I put 9 here and update. So now if we go back to the checkout page, we'll see that the kid's question isn't there because the basic plan product is not the product that we set this up for. But if I copy the purchase link for the 20 credits product and go back over here and visit the checkout page, now we see the kid's question is there. Okay, so this is one way to do it. Basically dynamically showing custom fields based on what product is being purchased using the order decision smart tag. Now, if you want to collect the data after the sale has been made on an upsell page, well, this has to do with you would create a specific page that's displayed to somebody after they purchase a particular product. I'm not going to demonstrate this right now because we're kind of out of time. But basically, create an upsell page. There's support articles for that. And then on the upsell page itself, you would create there's a support article on creating a custom fields what is that article? Custom data form. Okay, create a form to create custom field data. So this article shows you how to create a standalone form to collect custom field data, just like we were doing on the checkout form, but basically on a separate page. So you would follow this article to create a form where you could collect the data about kids or weight loss goals or whatever, and then put that on the upsell page. So you create a whole new page, put this form on it, and then you tell MemberMouse, only show this page when somebody purchases this product, right? So that way they purchase a product and immediately after that, they're shown a page with a questionnaire specific to that product. That's another way you can do it. Okay, so that's all the questions. Does anybody have anything else before we jump off? I appreciate your patience with the environment and the sonic ambience. I hope it wasn't too distracting. You're welcome, Kimberly. Good. Okay, well, I hope you all have a good rest of your day and a nice weekend, and I will see you next time. I believe it's not gonna be next week. It's gonna be Thursday, July 2nd. pending changes, but that's the current plan. Yes, July 2nd. Okay, great. Talk to you all soon. Bye.